Okay, I think we're here now. I don't know what happened, and I'm sorry that that did happen. Everything seemed to be working on my side, and there didn't seem to be any way to jumpstart it, so I am back now. But let's see. Let me go to this. I think people are probably still in the other one, so I should tell them that there's a new one now. Yeah, I think everyone will figure it out slowly. You guys, everybody coming over to this one? Boy, this is confusing. I don't know what to say. Well, anyway, so look, if you're just joining, there was this weird thing with the previous live stream where apparently, even though everything was normal on my side, it stopped streaming. Daniel's here. Jong is here. All right, awesome. So, yeah, I didn't mean to go anywhere. I don't know what happened. Let's see. The video was fine for me the whole time. Should be good. Oh, that's good to know. That's weird. Sometimes YouTube does this stuff. Their live streaming is somewhat new for them. Gets a lot of attention, and some of their stuff is new. So Daniel, you asked the question about 5-card draw. 5-card draw was one of the, like you said, is it still played in casinos or is it played in casinos? The only time I see it in casinos is either sometimes during the World Series, and like a tournament series that's like more high buy-in. And I see it occasionally, or versions of it I'll see in a high-stakes mixed game. But for the most part, it's not really spread anywhere. The last time I remember seeing anything related to 5-card draw was when I read the Mike Caro book on Poker Tells, which I even though 5-card draw is not played anymore, that book is fantastic. I really like the Mike Caro book on Poker Tells. Mike Caro, I'm told, is a absolutely stand-up, intelligent, mathematical thinking guy. He teaches stuff about that in his book, but for the most part, you don't see 5-card draw anywhere in casinos because it's just a lot less. It doesn't have the appeal of like a Texas Hold'em because it's more complicated to just sit down and learn. The beautiful thing about Texas Hold'em is for as much time as it takes to master it, it takes seconds to learn what to actually do at a table, right? 5-card draw, you got to understand discards and all that stuff. It becomes a little bit more complicated. But I do wonder, it's possible that the World Series actually requires that you know that. They definitely require games that have similar aspects in them. But yeah, and again, I'm sorry about the live stream having to start over. I'm sorry for the people that missed the beginning part of it, but I mean, I'll stick around here for a little bit today so that everybody gets what they want out of this. I did research Chinese poker, open-faced Chinese poker a little bit that I was doing last time, and I am going to confirm. What I was doing is I was dealing people 3 cards at a time. It's not done like that. It's actually 1 card at a time for everybody that's not in Fantasyland. And I do want to just deal 1 hand of that so that we can all see what that looks like so that I do it correctly. Because I think that open-faced Chinese poker is definitely a fun game. So what we'll do is we'll play $25 a point for a second with 4 people. So we'll give everybody 1,000. Let's do this. Right here. Right here. What do you guys think? Maybe it's just me that's interested in this. Do you guys want me to deal a hand of open-faced Chinese and kind of do it the real way? Or do we want to do other stuff here? I know that kind of opens me up for people to start saying everything that they want. My intent was not that, but I guess I am open to always knowing what people want. So feel free to share that instead. After using this table so much, it's starting to get a little bit concave. We get a sure? All right. Why not, right? The dealing procedure on this is not that hard, and it's kind of fun to see what happens because it's different every hand. There's a lot more variety in Chinese, just because the hands that get dealt out are sort of all over the place. All right, so that's the space that I needed. Great. Now let's do this. Yep, that's 500 here. I'll give it to this player. Look at this, bank is a mess. I have some people that are OCD. They tell me they're OCD and they have trouble watching my videos because everything's so messy. If this was a casino, it would be different. But like when you're trying to train and teach, stuff just ends up everywhere. It is what it is. All right, let's see. It's this side that, oh gosh. Both of these sides are kind of hard to watch, huh? Let me push this all back. I gotta go ahead. Yeah, do it. Cool. Any questions that you guys want to ask? Oh, I should mention. So I've been talking to people. I just released 2 new videos for the first time in a long time. I released a couple of videos on regular YouTube on my regular YouTube channel, which is this channel, like True Poker Dealer videos. But I'm talking about not live videos. I'm not sure if ETN. I'm so sorry. You made it on time, and then I had to switch on you. You haven't missed anything. I'm about to deal some open face Chinese, just to finish like what we started last time. But I'm also explaining, so I put out 2 new videos on regular YouTube. My intent is to start posting stuff regularly. And I'm curious what you guys thought of the new videos that I released. I'm not sure that everybody's seen them or is even aware that I released them. But one of them is I tested out dealing in a mask and gloves because I thought it would be interesting. And I feel like the video came out pretty good. And then another one was some old unreleased footage that I had about how to count the stub. So both of those videos are out now. But yeah, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to deal a hand of open face Chinese the correct way. So I feel good about that. All right, so here we go. So we shuffle it and then we're going to pitch just like this. That's 1, 2, 3, and then 4 and 5. All right, so this first player is gonna go now. We're going to have them put the ace on the bottom. We'll put the jack with it. Why not? Give them a chance at a straight. We'll do 9-8 in the middle and a deuce up top. All right. Can everybody see that cleanly? Yeah, you can see that. Even if I put it here, it's good. All right. Now this player's got these 5 cards. So everybody gets 5 cards to start, and they set them however they want. This player's hand is pretty similar, honestly. They're going to go ace-king on the bottom. And they're going to go 8-6 with a deuce up top. All right. What do you guys think? No, this is open-faced Chinese poker. Everybody starts with 5 cards. Boy. So this player gets a huge advantage here, right? Like, they see that there's an ace, jack, and a queen. And they think to themselves, well, aces are all over the place now, so that's not very good to have an ace down anymore. So they're going to put the ace up in their top hand, and they're going to put the queen down, and I guess they'll put the jack down with it, and we'll go 6 deuce. Or do they want to go? Let's see. I think once they put it in a place, it's supposed to stay, but I think the players are usually pretty chill about it. So there's no diamonds out. There's 1 diamond out. I think they're going to go like this, actually. They're going to play the ace-6 deuce down with all diamonds and go for the flush. And they're going to put the... There's no queens out, so they're going to put the queen up and try to get into fantasy land, which is interesting. And now this player's got 10s down, and... Wow, they have a possible straight flush. No, there's a 6 of hearts. See how much of an advantage it is to like see all this? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So they're gonna go like this and see what happens. All right. So now what happens next is we deal 1 card to each player, just like this. They all go face down. This player has to set it first. So they look at it. They see that it's a 6. They'll put the 6 in the middle here. Let's make some room. And this player gets an 8. So they're doing their pair of 8s in the middle. All right. Let's get this over here. We got plenty of room, actually. I can spread this out a bit. And this player gets their diamond. All right, they're in good shape. This player gets a 5. So now they have a decision. They probably want to put this 5 in the middle here. Let's go like this. So there's a little bit more room. All right, so they got a pair of 5s in the middle, and they feel good about that. All right, so now we do it again. So this player's next. They get a 4. They're going to put that up top. And this player gets a king. So they got their pair of kings in the bottom now. So now they're not at risk of their hand being foul. So they're happy about that. This player gets their queen. That's terrifying, but they're going to put it up top to try and get into Fantasyland. Fantasyland being, there's nowhere else to put this than up here, honestly. Fantasyland being, if you can get a hand with queens up, then the following hand, I believe this is how it works. Correct me if I'm wrong. The following hand is, they get all 13 of their cards at once. So let's see. So now we deal again. Yes, this is open face Chinese. And if you're ever dealing open face Chinese in a casino, keep in mind that the players will tell you whatever you need to know. Like they're very chill about this game. Is very casual. You can't really mess up as a dealer as long as you just like listen to what everybody's saying. So they put the 7 in the middle. They're trying to get a straight here, but it's hard to get that straight if they don't get anything else that's helpful. So this player has a chance for, let's see, there's a 7 there and a 7 there. So the 7 doesn't really do them a whole lot. And there's a 2 there and a 2 there. So if they put the 7 up, they're kind of jamming themselves up. I think they're going to put the 7 in the middle here. Yeah, this is how it would look for them. So they're going to go like this. This player gets their flush. So they're super happy now. So their queens up have a good chance at this point. And this player gets the queen of diamonds. I think what they want to do is they want to put the queen up here so they have a queen high at least. And now we go one more card for everybody. And this player's got a king. So they're looking, there's 2 10s out, but that's it. There's 3 queens. So they're going to try to get a pair up here. With a tiny chance of a straight. And this jack, where would this jack go? What do you guys think about the jack? I'm curious what we all think about this jack. I think it's got to go down here, right? Because if you put it up here, there's already 2 jacks out. And this is how they do it. They just look around and look around and look around. Yeah, let's put the jack over here. If this was a 6, oh, I'm sorry. If this was a 5, I would maybe put it up here. Actually, I don't know. I'm just going to put it there and not worry about it because it's not real and it's not my money. The deuce is up here. This doesn't really do a whole lot for this hand. And the 4. Ooh. So this is tough, right? If they put the 4 here, they get 2 pair, which gives them a chance at queens up top if they get the last queen. But they also run the risk of fouling their hand if they can't beat 10s below. But they feel like gambling. So what do we do this? One more. All right. Now this hand's next. They get a 3. Let's give them the really weak straight flush up top. By the way, that doesn't count as a straight flush. This queen doesn't really do a whole lot here, so might as well put it up top. And this 4 is scary. And a 3. Well, they could put a pair of 3s up. Nothing wrong with that. So, all right, everybody's sort of getting something. By the way, I don't really play this with fantastic strategy. I'm just going to be honest about that. The jack. I think that... Boy, this hand is rough. The jack's got to go there at this point. There's not really a whole lot else to do. This 5 doesn't do a whole lot for this hand. We'll put it right here. The 10... It's got to go here. This hand's almost definitely going to foul at this point. And the ace has to go down here. There's no decisions for that hand. Let's see. This one, they got a 9, so now they're going to take their pair of 9s in the middle, and they'll be fine with that. Here's a 9 as well. They'll put this, let's see. Yeah, they'll put this here and hope for a deuce, maybe? Let me see. 1, 2... No, all the deuces are gone. So if they put this here, they want a better bottom or do they want a better top? They can't get a better top unless they get a high card, because the queens are gone and the deuces are gone. So I guess they want a better top. They're not going to win the top. They're going to try for a better bottom. But there's not really any cards. It doesn't matter for them that much. Wow, they got a 10. So they have a shot at it now. If they get a 4 or a jack. Are there any more jacks? No, there's no more jacks in the deck. There's no more 4s in the deck, so it actually doesn't matter. They're completely screwed at this point. And this is how players play this. They just look and see what's available like that. So this last card is a 5. This last card is a 7. This last card is a 3. And a 9. Alright, so the first thing that we notice is this player fouled their hand, so they lose to everybody. So they had a flush on the bottom, they had a pair of 10s in the middle, and a pair of queens up. In Chinese poker, each hand must be stronger than the previous hand. So this right here, a flush is better than a pair of 10s, but a pair of queens is not worse than a pair of 10s. So best, second best, third best. Queens is better than 10s. Hand is foul. They didn't make it. And we have this hand is foul as well, because there's only 10s here and there's 2 pair here. 2 pair is better than 1 pair, so this hand is foul as well. And then here we have jacks, 9s. So this hand is a legitimate hand, and then this hand is kings and 8s. This hand is legitimate as well. So in both of these cases, this player is going to lose to both of these. This player is going to lose to both of these. So they get 1 point for each is the point. So they get 1 point, 1 point, 1 point. Sometimes places do different, and there's bonuses and stuff, but so many cards on the table now. I guess there are. So last time, Shoetown, last time you asked, or last time I dealt 5 cards, 3 cards, 3 cards, 2 cards. But what I found out is it's just 1 card at a time, which rung a bell. Like, that is how it's played. It's 1 card is set per player each time. They go around each time. There's a version of it where it's 3-2-2, or rather 3-3-2, but that was the home version that I remembered. It wasn't what's done in casinos, so I actually changed it up. So here we've got queen high beats 4 high. This is not a straight or a straight flush because it's only 3 cards. 8s lose to 9s, and then kings beat jacks, so this one owes this one 1. And I do apologize for teaching it 3 cards, or 5 cards, 3 cards, 3 cards, 2 cards. That's not how it is. It's 5 cards, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, all the way to the end. And you have to set it in order. Well, it's not. You said, oh, really? I guess I've been playing it the wrong way around since then. Yes, totally my fault. Although I will say this, the way that I did it is totally acceptable, and you can play it that way if you want with friends. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just not what's done in casinos by the high stakes players. So I wanted to. That's actually why I'm showing this, so that you guys can see that difference. Let's see. Jong says, have you dealt a game called Badugi Shuck 2? I have dealt Badugi. I don't know what Shuck 2 means, but I have dealt Badugi. Shutan says, no need to apologize. Still have been having a fun time. Yeah, I mean, open-faced Chinese is fun if it's 5-3-3-2, or it's fun if it's 5-1-1-1-1-1-1-1. And now you have another version that you can mix in too. Dave says, howdy, Mark. Hey, Dave, how's it going? So let's see. Yeah, I've dealt Badugi. I'm trying to remember how Badugi works because it's been a few years since I actually dealt with that. And my assumption was if I offer the course for other games to teach the rest of them, but I would just need to do a quick refresher because it's a type of thing where I dealt it probably 10 times in casinos at the Hard Rock Hollywood in 2016, and I haven't done it since then. And when it comes to the strategy and stuff, like as a dealer, you're just kind of dealing out cards the way that they do that. So I forget exactly how it works. And also it's like it's not a game that I've ever cared to play for money. I prefer just, you know, Texas Hold'em and Omaha sometimes, and occasionally stud. So I've never really gotten too deep into playing Badoogie myself, so I kind of forget the rules. But long story short, it's a 4-card game. And as a 4-card game, that makes it a little bit different, but you get discards and stuff like that, and you're trying to get the best 4-card hand, which is interesting in itself. But yeah, so that was a hand of open-faced Chinese. Let me see. You know what? Let me try to deal one hand of Badoogie just so you guys can see what it looks like. And I'm just going to look up something real quick so I can remember. So the general rules of Badoogie, I'll deal it out 8-handed, okay? The general rules of Badoogie are you're looking to make a quote-unquote Badoogie, which is a hand that has 4 cards of different suits that are different ranks. So what we'll do is we'll deal this face up for 8 players, okay? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Can we see all these? Let me move myself out of the way a little bit. I forgot. There's one more card to come. And then we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. So as we just off the bat, okay, we can see that there are. This hand has 3 different suits. It's got spades, diamonds, hearts. This hand has 4 different suits, but it has a pair. So the 6s, you can't use both of those. This hand has a pair of aces and 3 different suits, so it's got all kinds of problems. And this hand has 3 different suits, and they're all high cards. The idea is you want the lowest. The best possible hand you can have is a 4 tray deuce ace, different suits. This hand has 3 different suits. It has 2 spades. This hand is 2 spades as well. This hand has 3 clubs, and this hand has 2 diamonds. So I don't see anything that's perfect so far. Let me see. So I'm seeing a lot of questions here. I'm going to get to these in a second. I just want to finish this hand of Badoogie real quick. So this is not how you deal it out. You don't deal it face up or anything like that. You'd be pitching 8, however many players. You'd be pitching them their own cards. I think it might be 8-handed max for Badoogie. I forget the answer to that, and if I were to teach a course on it, I would actually get all that info. But this player right here is probably going to discard the queen. So they discard, and then they get 1 more card, which they get right here. And it's, I think, 2 discard rounds, maybe 3. Here, this player is going to discard either of the 6s. So let's say they don't know what anyone else has, despite it being up. So they just discarded and got a jack. This one's going to get rid of probably the ace of spades, since they already have the ace of clubs. And they get the 8 of hearts. This is actually a pretty solid hand, and they might want to stay pat. This hand right here, they don't really have a whole lot to do. They're probably going to fold in the betting round and just move on with their lives. This one right here is going to get rid of the 7 of spades, and they got a king of spades, which doesn't do them a whole lot of good. This one's going to get rid of the jack. They get the 10 of clubs. That is a legit Badoogie, but you have to have the best one at the end of the hand in order to win. Remember that. This one's going to get rid of these 2 cards. They're probably going to fold, honestly. And this one is going to get rid of these 2 if they want any shot of anything. And yeah, so here we can see this one's going to get rid of the 6. And they end up with a 3 card. So let's say that it's 2 discards. I forget how many discards it is. Let me look, actually. Something that's tough about dealing these games is I've seen so many variations of Badugi, Badesi, like all this stuff, that I end up forgetting the baseline rules for Badugi, which you deal like once and then you just move on from there. I went to the link that it said and it brought me somewhere else. So let's see what this says now. It's nice having info like this out there. There's a drawing round. So there's 3 drawing rounds maximum. According to the rules that I just read online, which does sound right, there's 3 drawing rounds. And you can fold or you can draw, from what I remember. So in this case, I guess I would do one more. So this player gets that card. This one gets that. This one's going to stay. This one is going to get rid of these 2 in order to try to win. And they're just going to fold. They don't care because they have a bad hand. This one's going to stay. This one's going to... They tried to stay and they got nothing good. And this one's going to go here and they end up jammed up. So this ends up being a 3-card Badugi. It's an ace, a 4, and an 8. This one right here ends up being a 3-card Badugi. It's a 7, 6, 5 different suits. This one right here is a 4-card. It's an 8 low, 8, 7, 5 ace, all different suits. This one is a 10 low, 10, 5 tray deuce. So this one right here is going to win this hand. It's like barely even a type of poker, if you know what I mean. Like you could almost call Badugi a non-poker game because it doesn't really include poker. The thing about it that makes it dealt in a poker room is you can play against other people and you can mix Badugi with other games, such as like a 5-card game. So you could have a game that's split between Badugi, where each player is trying to win half the pot with their best Badugi hand, and each player is trying to win half the pot with, say, a low ball hand, a deuce to 7, or a Raz hand, or something like that. It just depends what version of the game they want to play. And people like making it complicated and interesting because it makes it fun, especially when you're playing high stakes, trying to get players that are not as good at poker, that are just looking to be trendy and say, yeah, I played this amazing 400, 800 limit game with all of this complicated rules that I know how to do because I'm smart. Like, people like stuff like that, honestly. So let's see. All right. Alejandro said, have you thought about doing video reviews about poker rooms around your region? No, but I appreciate that, and I'm going to add that to my list. I am currently in the middle. I have about 15 videos that I know what I want to make for them, and I am super open to finding out what you guys want additional videos to be. But I love that suggestion, and it makes me want to open up my notes and add it to my notes. Let's see here. All right, my notes are open, and I'm adding poker room reviews in my area. Love it. Thank you so much. Is there anything specific you guys want to know about my opinions on these poker rooms? Like, are you trying to find out from the working standpoint, from the playing standpoint? What version are you looking at? Let's see. Neil says, isn't it boring to be a dealer? How do you keep yourself interested being a dealer all day? Because playing is more fun than dealing, right? So I guess it depends. Being a dealer is not playing. Okay, so first, they're two separate things. So if you go to work as a dealer thinking that you're going to go and play poker, well, yes, that's going to be boring. But think about the types of jobs that exist out there. If you go into dealing poker with the mentality that working in the industry, or like if you go into dealing poker with the mentality that I have to have a job, right? The question is, would you rather work at a retail store or be a poker dealer, right? Poker dealer is way more fun. depending on what you're doing at the retail store. But you also make like, 2 to 4 times the money depending on what retail we're talking about. I feel like it can get boring, but there's always something to do when you're a dealer and you get a lot of breaks. So overall, I enjoyed dealing very much when I did it because I felt like I was being present for an interesting game. If you don't care about the game of poker, it might be less boring for you. But there's also a ton of social interaction as a dealer. You're not stuck in a setting where you're feeling very alone. Like, there's people around constantly. There's a lot of conversation that goes on at the poker table. And that in itself can be interesting. But there is something, like, if you're the type of person that finds it interesting to be present when people are making difficult money decisions, if you like that, then dealing poker is great because you're constantly getting to observe and learn that. If you don't care about stuff like that, I mean, at the end of the day, it comes down to whether or not you enjoy the game of poker. And as a poker player, it is very fun to play, but, as a dealer, you're guaranteed to make money every hour. It's guaranteed. So there's no risk. As a player, you have to be a winning player in order for that to apply to you. So there's, the answer is some people consider it boring. I liked it a lot. There's always little games on top of the game that you can play. Let's see. ETN says no. I like that you answered that question. John says Shuck'em is like 7-card stud according to Google. Badugi and Raz is 2 totally different games then. Well, Badugi and Raz is 2 totally different games, but what I'm saying is some people will play a combination game. Like in high stakes, everybody will get 5 cards, and one half the pot is won by each person's best Badugi hand. The other half of the pot is won by each person's best blank hand. Raz was an example I was using. So they're completely separate games, except sometimes people decide to combine Badugi and Raz, Badugi and Deuce to 7. Whatever it is. Deuce to 7 works better with Badugi because it's a triple draw game already, right? So things like that. Badesi is a combination of Badugi and Ace to 5, for example. So that's like a common thing. Badesi is the name of that combined game. So let's see. Yeah, just to answer that though. Let's see. Dave says, how about across the U.S., poker room, Indian casino reviews, both working and playing? I mean, I like the idea of that, but that would require me getting in-depth understanding and like hitting the road for a very long time because of how many poker rooms there are. For some perspective, I lived in Washington State for a couple of years. That was the first place I ever worked in casinos, in a town called Bellingham. Well, no, Bellingham is where I lived. I didn't work in Bellingham, but in Washington State, there's like 100 poker rooms there alone, and that's one of 50 states. It's quite an undertaking to start doing that. So it's something I put on my list, and I got to figure out how I want to do it. Maybe what I can do is interview people that work at each place. That might be a cool way to approach it, and do a review through the people that work or worked there. But even that, like, people have such skewed opinions, and I certainly don't want to... I like things to be really accurate and honest. So I would try to think of a way to do that carefully, but what I can do to start is I could certainly review the rooms that are near me that I'm very familiar with, because I am very familiar with the rooms in South Florida, that's for sure. Let's see. Shoetown says, can you actually join the conversation / laugh at the things that are being told, or do you have to stay professional? So that question is in relation to me talking about, what's boring or not boring about being at a poker table, and I mentioned that there's a lot of conversation going on. So as a dealer, your number one focus and priority is to make sure that the rules of poker are followed. You do not want to violate the 1 player per hand rule. You want to represent the interests of the casino and make sure that they're getting hands out as quickly as they can, which means you're getting hands out as quickly as you can. And you never want to influence anybody at all. That's the 1 player per hand rule. So talking casually while a hand is going on, distracting people from the game of poker is a terrible practice. Dealers do it sometimes, but it's an absolute no-no. You do not want to in any way affect the hand that's being played. That's the way to say it. That being said, there is sometimes some downtime, okay? So for example, once the pot is pushed, especially if it was a relatively unemotional hand, you do have from the moment that you push the pot until the moment that the under the gun player in the following hand has to act, you got all that time if you want to have some kind of a brief conversational interaction. And it's totally acceptable, and I would even say that it's advisable to figure out how to take advantage of that time and enjoy that moment. Maybe there's something that was said in the hand previously about something in the world that has nothing to do with poker, or maybe it has something to do with poker. Maybe somebody commented on a World Series of Poker thing, right? You don't want to talk about it while you're dealing that hand and while the hand is going on, but as soon as it's done, if you want to give your 2 cents, feel free, right? As long as you don't offend anybody, as long as you understand where the line is as the person that's working in the casino as opposed to the people that are playing. But yeah, you can, and if somebody says something funny at the table, I like that you ask the question, can you actually like laugh, right? I hate to break it to you, okay? As professional as you want to be, if you're a dealer, there will be times where you cannot help yourself and you have to laugh because something is that freaking funny. Like, I cannot tell you how frequently that's happened where I'm like, oh no, I feel like I'm laughing at someone, but there's just no way around it. Like, and like as a dealer, sometimes you have to hide it. I shared this story before, I'll say it again, where the very first poker room I worked at, it was a 3-table poker room, and there was only one table of 4-8 going. And there was this guy that walked in. He was like, he looked like he was maybe young, but he had been ID'd, and so he was fine. And he had this like enormously, I think he was maybe Mexican or something like that. He had this enormously oversized, brand new looking St. Louis hat, St. Louis Cardinals hat. And he did this whole thing where he just sort of awkwardly sat there and didn't say anything. And he clearly didn't really play a lot of poker, but he knew enough to be at the table. And just something seemed super off about the guy. And he was sitting in seat 5 right across from me. And the guy in seat 6 was a regular who was just a pretty funny guy. And everyone was silent. And this guy, the hat just looked weird. It was like he had a shaved head. The hat was like eating his entire face because it was so big on him. Like, it was just weird. And the guy in seat 6, who was a regular, who always likes to entertain people, out of nowhere just says, like in a silent room, he says, somewhere in St. Louis, a black man's missing his hat. And everybody just started cracking up because the joke is that a black man would have purchased a perfectly new looking hat, and this guy looked like maybe he had stolen it from somebody, even though that's a total stereotype. And look, I'm sharing a story that has certain like stereotype implications and stuff like that, and it's like kind of inappropriate, right? But at the same time, when somebody breaks a silence where the entire table is trying not to pay attention to the fact that this hat looks super weird on this guy, and he breaks the silence, and everybody's like, you're gonna start laughing, you won't be able to help it, because you were trying to figure out, like, why is this dude wearing this hat that looks like it just totally doesn't fit him? And I mean, sometimes you can't control it, is the point. And when something like that happens, you know, if you do laugh, you want to make sure that you're respectful as quickly as possible. My floor manager was on the floor laughing, and I want to be clear. I'm not representing the story as am I still here? Can you guys still see me? It's doing the thing where it just seems like, all right. Were you guys able to hear me the whole time? I can see that it's back now, but it seemed like it might have been gone for a second. So if you guys can tell me if you missed anything there, I would appreciate knowing that, because I was talking about something that's considered to be somewhat sensitive when there's like some relatively mild. Did you guys hear the whole time? Was I here the whole time? I'm just curious, because I would feel bad if I made my point. All right, you guys heard the whole thing. Heard up to the floor manager, then it blipped. Well, that's okay. So anyway, so it says there's a YouTuber called Sam Chui that does reviews on airlines. Maybe you could do something similar with poker rooms or even the entire casino, from experiences, service quality, etc., and give your opinion. So I want to say I really do appreciate the desire for me to share stuff like that. Like I said, I put it on my list. And I believe I can do something along those lines, right? Something that's tough about that content is these poker rooms change a lot over time. And I wouldn't necessarily want my review on them to stick around for too long if they do improve or get worse. So it's something to think about. I definitely have to fill that one out. But, I mean, it's probably worth doing. And, you know, I have an idea, okay? If I get, when I get to the point where True Poker Dealer is the thing that pays all of my bills, I will be more than happy to make a trip around and do stuff like this as an appreciation to True Poker Dealer in general. So, I like the idea of that, and thank you for this idea. I'm going to put it on the back burner until the time comes where it's time to travel a lot. And then I'm probably just going to hit up some of the bigger rooms or the rooms that people request or something like that. But I would definitely do a trip where I review them, I play in them, I talk to the staff, all that stuff sounds like a great idea. I love the idea. Let's see. And I'll check out Sam Chui. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but I'll check him out to get a sense of some of the professional how-tos for this stuff. Professor Finesser says, what's your favorite way to shuffle? Okay. My favorite way to shuffle, the way that I teach in my how-to shuffle video, I think is my favorite way. I guess I'm curious what ways there are. Like, here, I'll say this. So recently I saw a video where they teach to shuffle like this. I don't like this method. I do like my method like this. Believe it or not, I teach the box riffle, right, like this. And I teach the box like this. I just trained myself early in my career to do that. I really do like the box that goes more like that, but I never did it myself that way, and I'm happy with my method because, you know, over the years shuffle machines have taken on so much in the industry that I didn't feel the need to change it to this way. But I do like this because when you get good at this, it goes super fast for the box. But yeah, that's never been my thing. It's just bam, it's done. It works too, you know. Let's see. So you say back. Yeah, you're here. Yes, you're on. It was a cool story. Yeah, we heard the story. Heard you up to the floor manager, then it blipped. Yeah, pretty sure I could hear everything. We heard it. It was only out for a second. All right, cool. So it was weird that it did that. A little bit surprised, but it's all good. Let's see. Back in the day, I did, obviously, before I got into casinos, I learned to do this. Ooh, plastic cards, the bridge doesn't work as well. You know, you can tell when somebody shuffles a lot the real way when they don't do a very good bridge. I almost feel mildly embarrassed doing the bridge like that, but that is how it works. I always think it's interesting when I play a home game, like, I actually do shuffle this way sometimes. I hate shuffling the regular way. I hate shuffling like this on a table that has no felt and no cushion, because when you pull the cards away, like, you can't get under them. So sometimes what I'll do is I'll just lift the whole deck like this and I'll air shuffle. But that's hard, you know. Have you guys ever tried air shuffling where it's like literally an air shuffle? It's a little risky. You might have to play 52 pickup. Nobody likes that game, right? Let's see. What else do you guys want to see videos on? Like I said, I'm making some videos. I do have something. All right, I want an opinion. I have let me see. I'm trying to find all these videos. I want to do a video where I tease it a bit and I offer to do something that's never been done in the entire poker industry from a poker employee. I have the ability to do something that's never been done before that people are definitely going to like, but I want to tease it so that I can do something cool first, such as if I put out a video that basically the premise is if I get 1 million views on this video, I'll do this cool thing in the poker industry that's never been done before. My question is, would you guys spread that video around so that we get that 1 million views? Um, did the story with the hat guy end at the floor manager? So just to finish that story in case it cut out and blipped for too long, the player, so everybody at the table laughed when the player made the comment, somewhere in St. Louis a black man's missing his hat. Once the guy said that, everybody at the table laughed. I was trying real hard to laugh without letting the player know, because at the same time I couldn't help myself, but I also didn't want to be offensive. The floor manager was like laughing a lot and completely not hiding it. And it was especially hard. You know how when something's really funny, there's that aftershock and the energy of everybody in the room kind of brings it up. So like the aftershock energy was really hard too. But the guy just sat there and didn't say anything about it the entire time. I don't know if he didn't understand English well enough. I really don't know to this day. When he came to the table, he brought his 100 in white playing 4-8, and he just basically lost it in about 45 minutes and left. And like he never commented, he didn't acknowledge the joke. Like it was just confusing. I don't know. But I tell you what, to this day, I have this image of this confused looking guy in St. Louis, just like, who took my hat? Like, I have that image burned into my head forever. Let's see. Professor Finesser says, I like your name very much. Professor Finesser says, maybe tutorials of techniques and maybe live games with you as the dealer. Tutorials of techniques, that's kind of what my channel is built on, so I'm glad that you want to see more of that. Live games with me as the dealer sounds interesting. I could probably do that. Alright, we'll put that up here. So, all right, something that I'm thinking is if I tease and say there's something that's never been done in the poker industry before, it's not that exciting, right? Because you guys are like, well, I mean, what is it going to be? Is it really worth us putting effort into it? The answer is this would be worth putting the effort in, but I don't know how to communicate that properly. Let's see, maybe at a charity tournament or something. Yeah, I was thinking about maybe having a game here or something like that. Daniel says, when I pitch, the cards sometimes flip over. What might be the purpose? Yeah, I get this question a decent amount. Let me do this. I'm going to put this out of the way for a moment, put it up here. So when you're pitching, the card flips up sometimes because your index finger here is at too much of a sideways angle. So what you do is you just turn this whole hand up higher, and then it makes it a lot easier to pitch. The more upright facing your hand is, the easier it is to get those cards off. If you're sideways, sometimes you miss and you flip. That would be my suggestion. So next time you get a chance to try that out, make that adjustment, turn your pitching hand, angle your palm up toward the ceiling a little bit more, and it should help you. And if that's not it, feel free to say what it was like for you when you did that, and we can take it from there. Let's see. What else do we have? All right. I find myself, I'm thinking about the answer to my own question instead of being present for you guys. So I'm going to abandon thinking about this anymore. I can't help it though. I want to know what to do with this cool thing that I'm planning. All right, well, I'll talk about something else. B-Bun says, your lessons have helped me get a job offer in a casino. Difficult to get over the nerves, but practice helps. I appreciate that comment very much. Let's see. Wait, you said job offer. When you say job offer, so you actually got offered something? Are you going to do it? That's amazing to hear. For some reason, in my head, I thought you were saying audition because you said there were nerves. But congratulations on getting a job offer. That's amazing to hear. it's actually really exciting, and it helps justify the effort that I feel like I put in for all this. So congratulations. And as you can see, B Buns is a member, and he's somebody that I've gotten to know a little bit, and super appreciate he works really hard, and you have to too if you want to get there. Wow, full time with benefits after an audition. Congratulations, huge congratulations to you for that. That's amazing, and I am so glad that you shared that. Dave says, B Buns, I still get nerves. Auditioned twice, fell flat on my face. Auditioning is one of the toughest things ever. I do think, Dave, that auditioning now, during / after COVID started, might be a little bit simpler because it's harder to find people that are interested. But nonetheless, I'm sure that B Buns earned it because he, like I said, he puts the work in. Dave, you do too. B Buns, was it in the state that you live in? I'm curious what state you ended up finding it in. And man, that just sounds amazing. And also, when do you start? Like, when do you get to start this new job? And what did they say about COVID? Any of that info, I feel like myself and everybody would probably be interested in. Something that I do want to, let me see. Dave says your vids and channel have helped greatly, Mark. Well, thank you for that too. Dave is somebody who is one of the original supporters of the True Poker Dealer membership back when it was focused mostly on Facebook, and I've gotten to watch you grow in your dealer knowledge, and I also am aware that you've taken a lot of notes on the recent course, and I appreciate you offering to help with communicating that stuff to me so that I can help improve and know where stuff is in the videos. I did recently change the titles of them, and I apologize if that messes you up a bit, but I'm trying to make it better and better as we go. So I got to get better at receiving positivity too. I feel like I get all weird, and I don't want to get all weird when I receive positivity. You guys are awesome. Let me just say that. And you're happy to give me the outlines too. Yeah, I think I would enjoy that. I kind of want to go through and do it myself too, but I definitely enjoy it. Washington, out of state. Start after I get a gaming license, 2 to 3 weeks. Poker room director and I only spoke briefly about COVID protections, but I can ask about specifics and get back to you. Dave said, as long as you keep the numbers, it's all good. Fair. Washington out of state. I assume that means Washington State, not Washington, D.C. Washington State is where I started in the industry. So that's cool that's where you're going to start in the industry too. Congratulations. That's amazing. Cool. I feel very happy right now. I don't know about you guys, but I feel happy whenever I can help somebody change their life in a positive way. It feels amazing, and that's what this is all about, right? True Poker Dealer is here to help people with their profession, and I'm fortunate enough to have the experience to be able to do that, and being able to share that feels great. That's awesome. Let's see. So I'm gonna feel free to continue to talk about this because I find this amazing. I am going to change the subject a little bit too. So I've been working on something that is not the thing that I was teasing, but I've been working on a new thing that I think I've got something pretty good. And I want you guys to hear me out, and I'm going to make an official YouTube video about this at some point. The thing that I've been working on is a version of golf that combines golf and poker. And I'm really excited to create some content about this because I think it's really fun. I also like the fact that it requires people to learn how to pitch cards in order to do this. You guys have seen me mess around by standing off the table and trying to quote unquote get it on the green. Well, this particular game, and I still have to work some of the kinks out, but this particular game is going to require a person from a distance to pitch a card onto a poker table, probably a slightly smaller size poker table, and then based on some of the rules of the game, at the end of the game, and I'm open to people helping come up with this rule set because I was actually thinking for members of doing a Zoom video that I record where we brainstorm that. Actually, maybe I'll do that right now. That might be a really good way to do this. So, and it certainly helps promote what I'm doing as well. So what I'm going to do right now is anybody that wants to be a part of a recorded, this is going to be recorded, anybody that wants to be a part of a recorded Zoom session with multiple people, I don't pay for Zoom, so it's going to be 40 minutes max, but anybody that wants to be a part of a recorded Zoom session, let's see, I am going to share, let's see, let's do this. Just a second. We'll see. I'm experimenting with this, but it's something that I've kind of wanted to do anyway. So here we go. Got it. All right, so I'm sharing Zoom meeting ID. So anybody that wants to be a part of this Zoom meeting right now, where we together brainstorm a rule set for a version of poker golf that I'll explain a little bit of in a second. This is the meeting ID, and I'm going to put the password for the $4.99 membership group. Anybody that's a $4.99 membership, you can go to the community tab on the True Poker Dealer channel, and the password for the Zoom will be right there. And we're going to discuss how this game of poker golf would go. And I'll talk a little bit about it first here, and we'll go for 15 minutes until 3:30. And then at 3:30, we're going to do a recorded session where we work on creating this rule set for this game. I think people are going to like this. So first I have to go to the channel and community. All right. And I put the password in the community tab for a Zoom meeting for anybody that wants to join it. So, all right, here's how this game works. So basically, this is a version of poker where are my hands not moving? No, they're moving fine. This is a version of poker where what do I have to say? I didn't communicate it well in the chat, but you guys get the idea. So basically, here's how the game of poker would work. It's you put a table somewhere. It can be in a house, it can be in a gymnasium, something like that. And then you set up 18 starting points throughout that location, okay? You take a deck, you shuffle the deck. So I'm going to give a little demonstration here. You take the deck and you shuffle the deck, okay? And ideally you would probably have some kind of a container to put it in after it's shuffled, but it would go through an official randomized shuffle. You take the whole deck, all right, and you put it in like a container of some sort. That way the card order can't be messed with. You can only take the top card off the deck at a time, all right? You go to the first location. Whatever the top card is, you take that card and you have to pitch it to try to get as close to the table as you can. Once you get a card actually on the felt of the table, it's just like disc golf or regular golf, where you have to stand wherever the card lands, and then you try to get it on the green. Once you get a card on the green, well, I should say, so a couple more rules. So you pitch a card. So let's say you're at hole 1. I'm going to start in the beginning here, okay? You start at hole 1. Hole 1 is just some location. We'll say we're doing it in my house, okay? Hole 1 is some location in the house. When you're at hole one, you start with your feet at the location of the starting point in the house. You take the top card off the deck, whatever it is. You pitch that card as close toward the table as you can. Maybe there's obstacles in the way. Maybe you have to get it out a door first. Okay? Whatever it is. Once that card lands, say it lands on the floor, you stand within an arm's length of where that card was, but that card gets burned, so you can't use it anymore. Okay, and then you got 51 cards left. Then you pitch again, and you keep going until you get a card on the green. Once a card lands on the green, you now can use that exact same card, and you want to pitch it into near the green at a fixed location of about maybe 6 to 8 feet. There would be the hole, okay? So what you do is you stand at a line that's next to the table, you stay behind the line, and you pitch that card that made it on the green. Try to get it into the hole. You get one chance with the card. Okay, cards that make it into the hole can be a part of your 5-card poker hand at the end, and that's it. It can only be cards that make it into the hole. So the more cards you get into the hole, the better hand you can have for your 5-card poker hand. And then some of the stuff I have to work out is like what rules there are about how few cards it takes for you to even get to through 18 holes, etc. In order to like, you wouldn't be able to use every single card in order to make a 5-card poker hand. Maybe depending on how good you do, you can pick a random 7 or something like that. So I have to kind of sort some of that stuff out. So that's something that I feel like I would like to do. But this might not make a lot of sense. Am I making any sense, guys? I feel like me switching this up has probably confused people. Everyone's probably like, what is he talking about? I don't get it. I can see that nobody's in the Zoom, so that seems like a bit of a fail. But this is what I do. I try random stuff here, right? Does anybody care about this game? Should I try it again later? I guess people want to be nice. Nobody's going to say, like, no, dude, we don't care about this game. I'm gonna have to show it later. I'll show it with a clean video so that everybody kind of sees what the idea is. The opportunity that I was excited to provide here was for anybody to be a part of the recorded brainstorm where we kind of figure out and identify some of the specific rules. So anybody can be, this game is gonna happen. Anybody can be a part of this specific game. It's a type of game that poker players would absolutely love because try it again or schedule it. It's a good idea. Maybe I'll do that. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. I'll schedule it. That's how to do it. So I have to schedule the brainstorm and figure that out. Yeah, okay. We can do that. All right, well then I'll abandon it for now. Although I will leave the Zoom up. If anybody does want to jump on a Zoom from 3:30 to 4, feel free to jump in and join me. The only way to get into the Zoom, we can just chat about anything. The only way to get into the Zoom would be if you are a member. So I put the password. Can I leave a comment here that's only for members? I don't think I can. No. Let's see. But I can do this. Oh, why doesn't it seem to be working? Well, that's weird. This is the community tab in the True Poker Dealer channel. That's where the password is to get into Zoom if anybody wants it. And it's for members only. So if anybody wants to jump on a Zoom, I am here with the Zoom right now. I don't know if anybody cares, but I kind of already offered this, so I'm just going to stick to it. And this is, if you go to truepokerdealer.com and you just go to, you can see, like, if you go to the channel itself, not truepokerdealer.com, if you go to YouTube/truepokerdealer, this is the True Poker Dealer channel on YouTube, and it's just the community tab, which you can see in the middle here. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like I've kind of lost my way a little bit in this. You said put it in your membership page. I noticed that there's a membership page. Now I'm curious what the membership page actually is. See posts. So I think this membership page might be new. Maybe that's why I don't really understand it. I don't remember seeing this before. See posts. I'll have to explore what the membership page actually is, because this is a new thing for me that I'm sort of unfamiliar with. Because it looks like I've got loyalty badges, the info. Is the membership page available to everyone on my channel? Like I said, I don't remember seeing this before. It says your membership. Learn more about memberships. Oh, I see. So, hey, can you guys help me out for a second? When you get a membership, for the people that have memberships, so it has a membership channel. All right, now I need to find out if it has a membership channel and a regular one. This isn't the time I want to be doing this, but I got to know this stuff, so you guys want me to know this stuff too. Let's see here. Okay, so there's no membership tab unless you actually have. I see. So then the way that it works is it shows what the perks are, but I don't think I can put individual posts in here. Oh, see posts. Okay. Oh, so it does show up. All right, well that works. Okay. Well, I feel like I bored everybody a little bit here, and as a result, people are leaving, which is on me. I do appreciate everybody coming to join now. You guys are great, and yeah, I think that I regret any type of trying to offer people something for members only, because I feel like it makes people feel unincluded, which I don't want that feeling to exist for people. So I'm going to think about that in the future. Dave says informative as always. I appreciate that very much. And yeah, all right. Well, anybody that wants to jump on the Zoom, feel free to jump on, and I will be over there until about 4 o'clock. And you guys are great. Thank you so much. I'm going to jump off now.